Hi there, Altenew friends, welcome back. Before you wreath build with your favorite Altenew flower stamps, try these 3 unconventional images. You'll be surprised with what else your stamp wheel can do. The sticky mat grid is 7.5 inches square, which means we can easily fit a 6x6 inch background stamp. I'm going to use this timeless yet simple background stamp to make my first card. This is Dainty Swiss Dots stamp set, and I'll start with the background stamp in this diamond formation. There's just the slightest bit of overhang with the stamp onto the stage, but this won't compromise the design of the card. I'm using Eucalyptus Fresh Dye Ink to stamp the dot image. In order to keep track of my 16 impressions of this image, I'm using a scrap piece of tape to mark the 12 o'clock position of my flip plate, and once I return that to the same position, I'll know I've made a full revolution of the stamp wheel. It's interesting to see what sort of patterns you'll get with very simple images. I made a second background with the same Dainty Swiss Dots stamp set. This time I layered other inks from Frosted Foliage Fresh Dye Ink bundle. I stamped the image 4 times, rotating and stamping the flip plate when the stamp was in a square formation to get a completely different pattern. In order to use both of these backgrounds on 2 different cards, I used the Zero Waste Leaf Pattern die to make a die cut inlay card. Surprisingly, this card wasn't as fuzzy as I was expecting with all the small dots. I love that I can use the sticky mat to hold down my dotted background and easily inlay the positive pieces of the die cut cardstock. And then with the negative piece, I can lay the panel face down onto the sticky mat, apply a water-soluble liquid glue to the cardstock, and align the other dotted background to the exposed adhesive. Now I have 2 completed cards with simple sentiments for any occasion. On another white cardstock panel placed in the center of my stamp wheel, I'm using Crystal Frames stamp set to make another wreath card. The geometric category of Altenew stamps is perfect to make Spirograph inspired designs. I will lay one of the crystal frame images anywhere along the flip plate and stamp the image 8 times. I used Limestone Crisp Dye Ink to fill my cardstock panel. Then I picked another image from Crystal Frame and stamped it 16 times in Limestone Crisp Dye Ink. Finally, I felt this background needed one more image, so I filled in the background 8 times in Jet Black Crisp Dye Ink. I stopped here before my background became a messy scribble of lines, but to break up the symmetry of this background, I added large splatters of jet black ink spray onto the cardstock background. Then I finished this card with another simple sentiment. In the first set of cards and this second example, we worked in single tones. Now let's see the possibilities of color with other non-floral images. I love the Cool Doodles geometric stamp set because of the bold outlines and solid blocks of color. There's no fancy layering to this card, and we can just enjoy the revolutionary design of the stamp wheel. I'm using Soft Pastel Mini Ink Cube sets because you get the 3 primaries and 3 secondaries in a simple set. In rainbow order, I'll stamp this simple spiral image in rouge, the linear burst in Sunkissed, the solid arch in Mango Smoothie, the bullseye in Mountain Mist, this abstract leaf in Ocean Waves, and this lotus pod in lavender fields. I added this cluster of dots in Mountain Mist to fill in this background with a touch more green. I finished this background with Everyday Sentiments hot foil plate set and a few antique gold sequins. What other Stampwheel techniques do you want to see? Let me know in the comments, and if you haven't seen Altenews Stampwheel, I have that linked in the description box. My series encourages you to shop your existing Altenews stash and rekindle their love with newer releases. Perfect Pairings with Jaycee airs on the Altenews channel every second and fourth Sunday of the month. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for tuning in to this perfect pairing episode with me, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey there, Lydia here. I really do hope that you've just enjoyed the video. If so, please subscribe to the Altenews YouTube channel. Also, turn on the notification bell so you can get your daily dose of crafty techniques and tutorials just like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.